Last year I made a video where I compared an Art Journal Olive bullet journal with a Notebook Therapy bullet journal and tried to determine what is the best bullet journal out there on the market. Well, in that video I thought that Notebook Therapy for me was the better bullet journal, but I do recommend going back and watching that video because you may have different criteria that you need compared to me. However, in today's video, I'm going to be comparing a Notebook Therapy journal with this Kuma stationery journal that I've been using since January of this year. We're going to be looking at design, performance, and cost, and overall determining, once again, what is the best bullet journal for you guys to buy if you're looking for a new one or just want some stationery tips. Okay, let's get right into it. So let's start with design. This is the Nara Bullet Journal by Notebook Therapy, and this is the Starlit Meadows Journal by Kuma Stationery. I used this one last year from July to December, and I've been using this one since January, and I will continue to use it till June of this year, 2024. So visually, these are both very beautiful journals. They have, of course, gorgeous designs on the front. They are both A5 size journals, but while I believe Kuma Stationery only sells A5 at the moment, which is like the standard size, I think, for most people who bullet journal, Notebook Therapy offers a couple more sizes, including B5 and also their original size, which is slightly smaller than A5, but it is pretty close. While I don't have the packaging of either of these journals with me at the moment, they both came in sustainable, eco-friendly packaging that is recyclable. This one is 176 pages, the Notebook Therapy one, and the Kuma Stationery one is 160 pages, but these are also eco bamboo paper, so these are a slightly different texture than this paper, and this also makes this paper, again, more environmentally friendly. Both of these journals have 160 GSM paper, so they're both very thick. In my experience, 160 GSM will not take alcohol markers, but it will take any water-based marker. Nothing will bleed through even over multiple layers. It will take a little bit of watercolor, especially if you don't use that much water in it. It'll take gouache, it'll take acrylic. And by the way, in this video, we will do a pen test, so we can really look at the thickness later on as well. Both of these bullet journals also have a 5mm dot grid, which is the standard dot grid, I think, for most bullet journals out there. That means every 2 dots is a centimeter. They also both have an elastic enclosure, which is very nice to keep your journal all nice and tidy. They also both have a pocket in the back, along with 2 bookmarks. So as you can see, the Notebook Therapy one is actually a suede soft cover. It's not linen, but this is not very normal. I think this is just a special edition journal. Most of their journals are a linen cover. And then the Kuma Stationery one is a linen cover, similar to the Art Journal Olive one that I compared in the last video. But since I have it here, I do want to mention these are very similar colors. This is the Art Journal Olive one, by the way, and if you can look at it, you can see that this one, although I used it for 6 months and is a little dirty, overall it is very clean. However, this one I'm finding a lot of trouble keeping clean. There are a lot of like little white spots and like parts of the cover that are dirty. It's a very small thing, but it makes me wonder if the actual linen being used is slightly different between these two, because this journal does get dirty a lot more than this one does. As you can see, there is less like discoloring. There's a little bit right here, and then this is some like flecks of dust, but yeah, it's not as bad. That's just one thing I've noticed in comparison, but that doesn't mean anything is wrong with this particular journal. It just maybe gets a little dirty a little easier. Okay, so next, this is a little picky, but you will notice that the end of the Notebook Therapy journal is very square, and I think the binding is very like perpendicular right there. In comparison, however, the Kuma Stationery journal is slightly more rounded, and it just bulges out just a little bit. Not a big difference, but it is something to note that the binding itself is a little more round. Now, both of these have a name page on the inside. This one is the Kuma Stationery one, and as you can see, it has their logo at the top and a couple lines for your name. Here is the Notebook Therapy one. As you can see, I actually drew in a couple of these leaves, but this one in the middle was there, and it has their logo at the top along with a space for your name. The Notebook Therapy journal just has normal white pages, but I do believe that they offer a couple of designs that have fancy sprayed or gilded edges. My particular Kuma Stationery one is gilded, so there are gold edges on the pages here. However, again, not all of the journals are gold edges, and they have plenty that are just plain white as well. Looking at the designs themselves, this is a rose gold design, so it is going to look slightly different on camera compared to this, which is a normal gold design. However, I have noticed that this one is just slightly more shiny. As you can see when I tilt it, the light really reflects off of that rose gold pinky color, whereas for the Kuma Stationery one, although it is reflective, it's just not as reflective in my opinion. This may just be like a personal thing to note though, and again, super small, and they both are still metallic. And I do like the designs here. This one is obviously slightly larger than this one, but I think they're both very beautiful. And on their website, they offer many different colors and designs of notebooks that are in a wide range. That way you can choose which one you think fits your aesthetic best. However, on Kuma Stationery's website, although they are a smaller and newer brand, so it's important to support, of course, small businesses, this brand only has about 10 or 12 journal designs that I counted on their website, whereas Notebook Therapy, which is a bigger company, has about 98 journal designs that I counted, although not all may be in stock, but they have more options. But again, this is a more developed company than Kuma Stationery, which is a newer company and is more up and coming, so I'm sure in the next couple of years Kuma Stationery will continue to produce more and more different beautiful designs. Looking at the binding, these are the designs on the edge. So this one has a little star and moon to match the cover page, and then this one has a couple leaves. It is harder to see because it is an older journal, so there is a little crease in it because I've been using this journal for a while, but there is a small little rose gold design there. As far as any extra things that come with the journal, Notebook Therapy's journal has a paper clip that it comes with, although I don't have it right now, unfortunately. I wish I did. I gave it to my sister, who is currently at home while I am in the dorm, but there is a paper clip that usually comes in this pocket that matches, and so the one that came with this journal was a deer head because of course there is a deer on the cover, and there is also a beautiful quote in the back. The Kuma Stationery journal did not come with a paper clip, and it does not have a quote in the back. However, what it does come with is a sticker sheet. So this is a cute little sticker sheet that has little designs that you can use in your journal. All of the stars are stickers as well, and they're just super adorable. I haven't had a chance to use any of them yet, but they are really cute. And this one I know comes with all of the journals in their Luna collection, which has 6 different journal designs. I'm not sure if their other journals come with sticker sheets, or maybe they do, but they're just different sticker sheets, but it is super nice that they each come with a little treat inside of the journal. Okay, so next let's do a pen test and test the performance of this paper, like I said earlier. So because I already did this video before with the journal for Notebook Therapy, I have a full pen test here that I've already done in the past with multiple pens, and I'm going to do basically the exact same thing to Kuma Stationery right now. So let me just put this aside and do a quick pen test. While I do this pen test, I want to talk to you guys about productivity because, as you know, I'm a very busy college student who's always looking for ways to be more productive, like using my bullet journal. I also love to multitask, like for example, all the time when I'm filming, like when I was filming this video here, I like to listen to things in the background, that way I can do 2 things at once. Which is why I love listening.com, who is very kindly the sponsor of today's video. Listening is an app that lets you turn textbooks, academic papers, PDF, websites, and emails into an audible format so you can listen to them on the go. If you're a student like me, or maybe you're in the workforce, this is incredibly helpful to be really productive and multitask. You can listen to it audibly while you're doing chores, commuting, journaling like me, or anything else. So for example, right now I'm actually working on a very long research paper in college, and so I have to read a lot of academic sources. And so whenever I was filming this video and doing the pen test, I just put one of my PDFs in the listening app, and then I could just listen to it while I worked on the video. The app has so many helpful features that I think are really intuitive. So number 1, they have automatic chapter detection, so you can easily skip around to whatever part of the PDF or website or whatever it is that you're looking for. There is also a one-click note-taking button. While you're listening, just press a button that says note, and it'll automatically highlight and take a snippet of what you just listened to. And lastly, they also have 5 different AI voices that you can choose from. I will just say though, it doesn't sound like Siri is reading them. Okay, it actually sounds like a real person is reading to you the document, which is really nice. You can actually try the app free for 3 weeks just to see if you like it. So if you're interested, I'll have the link right here on the screen, as well as below in the description box if you want to go check it out, just to test it out maybe for 2 weeks, see if you like it, and see if it helps boost your productivity. Thank you so much to listening.com for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to my journal comparison. Okay, so putting the 2 of these side by side, this on the left is the Notebook Therapy journal, and this on the right is the Kuma Stationery journal. As you can see, some markers had to change because I don't have access to all of them anymore. So I don't have my Uhu brush pens anymore. I left those at home, so I used an Artist Loft Dual Art marker. I also don't have a Pigma Micron, but it has very similar performance as the Uhu fine liner, so don't worry, that won't make much of a difference. And also, oh crap, okay, so I wrote Uhu alcohol markers here. I actually need to cross this out. This is a Sanjoki alcohol marker. I forgot to write that different. Okay, it's a Sanjoki marker, I'm sorry, but the Uhu alcohol markers and the Sanjoki alcohol markers also perform very similarly as far as pigment and bleeding, so yeah, this should have a very similar result But just as a reminder, this is 160 GSM paper. So like I said, it'll take most of the water-based markers, which are all of these in the middle, and all of these should not bleed at all as well, even the dark calligraphy pens. However, the alcohol markers that are very pigmented and the water-based watercolor paint will probably at least have some ghosting, if not bleeding. So let's flip them over. My AC just turned on, so please ignore that. But as you can see with the Notebook Therapy side, there is no ghosting or bleeding at all until you come down to the alcohol marker one, and there you can see some definite bleeding. But there even isn't any bleeding down here for the watercolor, which is really interesting. There's no ghosting or bleeding at all. So the only thing you can see on this side is the alcohol marker. Comparing that to Kuma Stationery, okay, very similar. So as you can see, there is absolutely no ghosting or bleeding up here, any of these pens. You can definitely see the alcohol marker coming through, and then there is a teensy bit of ghosting right here for the paint. It might even be visible on camera, but I'm pretty sure it's just because I just applied it, and once the paint completely dries, it should be just fine. So honestly, very, very similar in performance, and the paper is very, very thick, and so it can take pretty much anything. And also, as far as the alcohol marker is concerned, I do have an entire video that I made about how I use alcohol markers in my bullet journal, which basically is on sticker paper, and so I definitely get around it all the time, and I don't think the paper thickness is a huge problem for any of these journals at all. Okay, now let's talk about cost. The Notebook Therapy journal, this one on this website, is $32 US, while the Kuma Stationery one is usually $36 US, but as the time I'm filming this video, it is currently on sale for $32, so they're at the same price when you count this one being on sale. The shipping to me from Notebook Therapy is approximately $6, and I believe it ships from Japan or East Asia. It is slower shipping because it is international. Kuma Stationery shipping to me is about $7, and it is designed in the UK but also shipped from East Asia, so it also is slower shipping because it is international. One thing to think about is the Archer and Olive journal from earlier, this company ships from the US, so technically they should have faster shipping. However, I have heard many stories about delays and stuff from Archer and Olive, which is very unfortunate. So although these two companies are international, it honestly may not even arrive faster than another journal from Archer and Olive would. And no hate to Archer and Olive, they are a very large company with many, many orders, I'm sure, but just something to think about is the time it takes for your journal to arrive. So in total, the $32 plus the $6 shipping means that the total price for this journal is $38. For the Kuma Stationery, it's very similar. So the total with the shipping is $39, but if there wasn't a sale and the journal was $36 plus $7 shipping, that would be a $43 total, so slightly more expensive on this side. However, Notebook Therapy offers free international shipping over $40, so if you got like a little extra something to add to your cart, you'll have completely free shipping. And same thing for Kuma Stationery, they also offer free shipping over $39, so both of these you can get free international shipping if you just hit that price limit. In comparison, to close out this video, if I had to choose a better journal, once again, I believe I have to go with Notebook Therapy, but it is a really close race. I really do love Kuma Stationery. I think they have fantastic options. I think the journals are very high quality. I just happen to like Notebook Therapy slightly more because they have a few more options, but nevertheless, they are both fantastic companies. They are very, very similar, so it's hard to pick a favorite, honestly. And I do support both companies and encourage you to buy from both of them. Like I said, Kuma Stationery is a small business, so if you want to support a smaller business, maybe I would encourage you to check out Kuma Stationery brand. But again, great journals, great design, and even Archer and Olive, like I said earlier, also has good designs, although recently I have noticed that their brand has shifted away from making bullet journals and more into making like pens, stationery, and subscription boxes, but that is just a company-wide thing. Comment down below what journals you've used and which one you'd recommend or possibly don't recommend. If you have any questions, drop them below. I will answer all of them. With that, definitely subscribe because I'm posting a very exciting video next week that you don't want to miss out on. It is my May bullet journal setup, and if you want to watch the first video in this series where I compared Archer and Olive to Notebook Therapy, I'll have the video right here on the screen. I'll see you guys next week.